Check-up, TIMA members in the Philippines held a free clinic at a nursing home in Quezon City. Tzu Chi volunteers held relief distributions at 4 Bedouin camps to make sure care recipients are prepared for the Ramadan. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Liao. Thank you for joining us. TIMA members in the Philippines recently organized a free clinic at a nursing home in Quezon City to safeguard seniors' eyes and dental health. And the event was joined by young volunteers from the Youth for Sustainable Development Assembly in Europe.
This nursing home shelters seniors in their 60s who live alone. Today, the TIMA members visit this facility to give the residents a health checkup. The free clinic is also joined by young volunteers from the Youth for Sustainable Development Assembly in Europe. 66-year-old Julio Olivares, who lost his wife and children during Typhoon Haiyan, moved from Tacloban to this nursing home in Quezon City.
We have no money to pay for the dental and eye checkups, so I say TIMA service is a godsend gift for us, a gift from Tzu Chi.
Homeless seniors also seek shelter at this nursing home. 79-year-old Florentine Amen has been alone since her husband's passing. TIMA service gives her a chance to see clearly.
This is really nice. The health checkup is very good. Everyone here is so kind and compassionate.
Love this day work, and I feel it and I enjoy it because of that. And it's good to help people. This is a great opportunity for me to see Philippines, meet people, and see how you're living here.
Through such social service, these youngsters from Europe have gained a better understanding of the Filipinos' life and have also broadened their world vision.
In order to complete batches of prefab homes for survivors of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, Tzu Chi volunteers in Sanxia, Taiwan have been working around the clock since April 22nd. Today, more than 10,000 volunteers have taken part in providing survivors with a place to call home.
Since April, Northern District Tzu Chi volunteers have been working tirelessly to assemble prefabricated homes for survivors of Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines. One such volunteer is Li Rui Fan.
You always hear people say it's never too late to learn. Being able to form such incredible affinities with residents in the Philippines is our blessing.
At these stations, volunteers work meticulously while also ensuring that the highest level of quality is achieved.
This is what Tzu Chi's humanitarianism is about. No matter what task we do, we ensure that it's done well. Once these prefab homes are assembled, it should really look like a work of art.
Working in temperatures of 36 to 37 degrees Celsius, the volunteers are all drenched in sweat. However, serving as their backbone of support is a group of kitchen volunteers responsible for looking after their stomachs.
We contribute the food, they supply the manpower, and we all work together to accomplish this mission so that disaster survivors can look forward to a place they can call home.
Even though my feet hurt, I'm really happy. I want to help in the kitchen and contribute what I can.
While kitchen volunteers prepare meals at this end, another group is washing work gloves at the other end.
It's extremely hot and they're all drenched in sweat. Their selfless giving is truly moving. Although we are only contributing a little by washing these gloves, as we work together, I realize that we don't necessarily have to go abroad to experience the joys of international relief.
Although unable to assist disaster survivors in the Philippines in person, behind the scenes, these volunteers devote their time and effort in the hope that these survivors will soon have a place to settle their bodies and minds.
During last year's Typhoon Haiyan in the Philippines, Tzu Chi's multi-purpose beds provided disaster survivors with a safe place to sleep. Today, we take a closer look at how the collapsible platform can also be used in the general public's daily lives.
Manually expanding the collapsible boards, the volunteer is showing how easy it can be to assemble this platform into a bed and a bench. This is the Jinsi multi-purpose folding platform, which can be configured to be a single bed as well as a bench to rest on. The purpose of the design is to give disaster survivors a good night's sleep.
We hope disaster survivors can still enjoy a reasonable lifestyle, so we invented this platform to give them a safe and sound sleep. The platform is easy to use. You don't need any tools to assemble it. Just pull it flat and it becomes a comfortable bed.
The height of the bed is 30 centimeters off the ground. The holes on each side not only help with ventilation, but also reduce the weight. Made of polypropylene, the bed won't irritate the skin, while the latest version has friction pads added. The seemingly simple design is actually full of creative ideas. It's easy to store and can be used indoors as well.
For example, when you have a guest staying at your house but you don't have an extra bed for him or her, such a foldable platform can save the day. When you're not using it, you can easily store it without taking up too much space.
The creativity and user-friendliness of the product won it this year's Red Dot Design Award. Next, the product will be sent to the SGS testing center for its functionality and quality to be verified. These better blessings and intelligence not only helps in times of disaster, but also brings general life wisdom into play.
Today we'll examine the regulations for essential oils in Taiwan. Just who do you call if you develop an allergic reaction and want to file a complaint? First and foremost, you must figure out who is in charge of what.
What if citizens have a problem with the essential oil they bought? Let's find out. Hello, you are?
This is the Department of Commerce.
Yes, hi. I have a question about the essential oil I bought.
Regarding usage, you will have to call the Ministry of Health and Welfare.
So you are in charge of...
We only regulate the labeling here.
Ministry of Health and Welfare, how may I help you? Oh, you will have to call the Food and Drug Administration. Essential oils, let me see. Okay, I'll transfer you to the cosmetics section. I suggest that you contact your local Department of Health if you want to file a complaint.
If you want to get anywhere, you will first have to find out just who in the government is in charge of essential oils.
If it claims to have medicinal effects and is also a skincare product, then the Ministry of Health and Welfare is in charge. Otherwise, it's classified as a product, which puts the Ministry of Economic Affairs in charge. If it affects our environment, then the Environmental Protection Administration will get involved as well.
In June, the Executive Yuan's Consumer Protection Committee stated the agencies responsible for essential oils, and each must present its regulatory measures. The first in line, the EPA, states that all insect repellents or insecticides must be screened starting January 1st.
If it claims to be a natural insecticide, then it must file for a permit, which adheres to a very strict screening process. Medicinal evaluation, toxicology test result, content analysis, and physical and chemical property reports must all be submitted. If it's just an insect repellent, we just need the medicinal evaluation and content analysis, so it's simpler.
It's the MOHW, however, that is in charge of insect repellents. The ministry's FDA primarily verifies a product's commercial claims and labeling. Of the 2,183 products available, only 51 were screened last year, which is way out of proportion.
Because it's applied externally, it must not claim to have any medicinal effect. If such a claim is to be made, then the product will have to meet the requirements stated in the Pharmaceutical Affairs Act, which are set very high. Currently, no essential oils have made such a claim.
While the Department of Commerce only cares about the labeling of essential oils.
Queen Rose, see? It only says it's essential oil, but doesn't state the contents, so this is no good.
In principle, the labeling on the contents must be clear and in detail.
If it claims to be a pure essential oil, the product will be sent to the Bureau of Standards, Metrology and Inspection for verification. If it fails, fines will be levied.
The BSMI's testing method is dependent on the kind of oil submitted. Currently, the Bureau adheres to over 150 domestic and international standards set for essential oils. As many more oils are unaccounted for, the Bureau intends to establish the national standards for oils collected from Taiwan cypress this year.
There's a maximum and a minimum, depending on the area. If it doesn't fall within this range, because essential oils are collected from living organisms and are therefore inherently inconsistent in makeup, to say that it's not the oil collected from this material would be a bit unreasonable.
It is obvious that each department is not fully aware of the extent of their jurisdiction and responsibility.
The essential oils that meet the national standards and those synthetically formulated are potentially dangerous, especially when regulations and management are so relaxed in Taiwan. When consumers use essential oils, they are taking a big risk. They have already exposed themselves when they take a whiff.
Sadly, some types of control measures are in place for essential oils, whereas there's basically no control for air fresheners. Consumers can do no more than shop smartly and rely on businesses to be honorable. Ultimately, isn't fresh air much healthier than scented air?
During the 30 days of Ramadan, Muslims worldwide fast from dawn to sunset. At the beginning of Ramadan, Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers distributed relief items to 4 Bedouin camps to ensure their care recipients will be well looked after during the festival.
During Ramadan, from sunrise to sunset, Muslims fast while offering their sincerest prayers. For the impoverished, not being able to drink water in the 40 degrees heat provides the sternest of tests. Tzu Chi volunteers depart from Jordan's capital, Amman, and head south for Petra on their 2-day, 1-night aid distribution mission to 4 Bedouin camps. They cover a total distance of 1,400 kilometers. At their distribution in Wadi Lam, the desert heat is like a hot oven, yet adults and children alike wait patiently for Tzu Chi's arrival. Even in such scorching conditions, volunteers still conduct the aid distribution with the utmost respect. The next day in Wadi Fanan, as children do not need to observe Ramadan, they are given candy and balloons. One boy ignores the flies on his face as he enjoys a rare treat. Using a large tree for shade, Tzu Chi volunteers start their distribution. Besides the usual items, they give out dry goods high in nutritional value, like dates and horse beans, as they have come to know from experience what the Bedouin people like.
Today we are distributing aid in Wadi Fanan. Our team consists of 4 Tzu Chi volunteers, Mohammed, and where is Falis? He has disappeared.
Okay, the
Falis is Jamia's son.
For 12 years now, Tzu Chi and the care recipients in Wadi Fanan have been getting acquainted with each other, so much so that even the children are eager to help move the aid items. Talking to fellow Bedouins as though they are good friends, the volunteers sit down to catch up with them. Come lunchtime, Tzu Chi's sisters whip up a simple vegetarian meal. Each mouthful replenishes everyone's energy, just like a mother's love. These are the Tzu Chi volunteers of Jordan, few in numbers, but many in strength, as all work towards a shared goal of helping the poor and the suffering.
Moving to Paraguay since 2009, Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for the residents of Carande village of Ciudad de Este. Besides building classrooms for children, volunteers also held winter aid distributions on a regular basis. During this year's winter aid distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers handed out food baskets and blankets donated by a member of the Chinese community to 47 needy families. On the date of the winter aid distribution, although the temperature has dropped to only 8 degrees Celsius, Paraguay Tzu Chi volunteers still insist to make their way to the Carande village of Ciudad de Este. Driving through the village, the volunteers are greeted by beautiful green fields and happy children. It has been 5 years since Tzu Chi volunteers first set foot in the village. Back then, children didn't have a safe place to study, and many greeted the volunteers with despair hidden behind their eyes. To give children a safer learning environment, Tzu Chi Foundation decided to build prefab classrooms. Volunteers also taught adults of the village ways to grow cash crops to improve their livelihood. Furthermore, local government has also stepped in to provide monthly meal subsidies for children and even basic medical care. This year, besides food baskets, volunteers also hand out blankets donated by a member of the Chinese community. Thanks to the help of Tzu Chi, 47 needy families are prepared for the harsh winter. In Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers visited Songai Kapel, a remote fishing village, to bring environmental ideals to 80 students of Daxing Chinese Elementary School. Meanwhile, to celebrate the Georgetown World Heritage Day in a more meaningful way, students at the UTAR visited the Tzu Chi Tamen Lumba Kuda recycling station to practice recycling.
As a way to celebrate Georgetown World Heritage Day, 18 students and their teacher from Penang's Tengku Abdul Rahman University are visiting the Tamalumba Kuda recycling station.
Most people might use their days off to go shopping or sightseeing, but actually we can use the holiday to do something meaningful.
Faced with the different categories of recyclables, the university students seem overwhelmed.
The myth is that plastic marked with the number 1 is used once, and that marked with the number 2 is used twice, but that's wrong. Look here, the number indicates that the plastic is made of different materials.
After an explanation, the teacher and students roll up their sleeves and start sorting. Despite still being confused at times, everyone's heart is in the right place.
From now on, at home, I will separate the recyclables from the items that are going into the trash.
We hope that they can learn things from this recycling center and bring those concepts back home to their family and educate their family. In a way, this is a more practical way to spend the holiday, which is why I choose this project for the students to participate in.
From understanding to actualizing, this group of university students has learned that purification begins at the source and will, in the future, be more mindful about reducing the burden on our planet's resources. Located in the remote fishing village of Johor's Pengerang, Daxing Chinese Elementary School has only 80 students, and on this day, all have gathered to welcome their friends with a song. Tzu Chi volunteers are here to educate the students on environmental protection.
The earth is running a fever. She needs to go to the hospital and get a shot.
Humanizing the planet in a video, Tzu Chi volunteers next play a game about water conservation with the children.
The children will often waste water. In school, we'll tell them to turn off the faucet when it's not in use and not to have it on fast when it is in use, but they only think we are nagging them. After your talks, perhaps they will have learned for the better.
I will tell my mother not to waste water.
Flattening the plastic bottles as part of the recycling games, Tzu Chi volunteers hope this string of activities can bring about a change in these students.
in Hualien County, Taiwan. Following 5 corrective surgeries to treat the deformities of her knees, Chen Tuanzhi from Xiamen, China can finally touch the ground with her own 2 feet for the very first time. In our next report, we'll learn of the obstacles overcome by the medical team at the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital to help Tuanzhi embrace a brighter future.
It is exactly 3 months since the first operation. Thanks to Superintendent Chen and those who care about me, all the surgeries were completed successfully. They helped me stand on my own 2 feet.
She has never used her knees and ankles to walk. You are very brave.
Thank you, Superintendent Chen.
Learning how to walk with the help of a walker is 26-year-old Chen Tuanzhi. Although she grew up in Xiamen, China, she has learned to walk her first step in Taiwan.
I felt extremely happy when my feet touched the ground for the very first time.
As both of Tuanzhi's legs are severely deformed, she had to undergo a triple arthrodesis surgery and Achilles tendon lengthening surgery. During the operation, 2 doctors had to hold onto Chen's legs to make sure the operation proceeds smoothly and safely.
The angles of her feet weren't very ergonomic, so we had to conduct the surgeries differently. Sometimes we had to hold up Tuanzhi's legs, while Superintendent Chen showed up her feet and vice versa.
Following each operation, Chen Yinghe always made a point of explaining Tuanzhi's condition to her mother.
Tuanzhi's mother, you can come in now. The operation was very successful and everything went according to our plan. Her nerves are working properly too. We know that Tuanzhi's mother has been worrying about her over these years, not just about the operations. We hope to lift some of the burden off her shoulder.
2 weeks following her 5th operation, Tuanzhi returns to the operating room to check on the recovery progress of her ankles.
Can you bend up? Good. Please try this. Push down. Good. This is the feeling you should get, okay? I've been very worried from the first operation until now. There are only 2 answers. Either we accomplish our goal or we fail. I knew that her Achilles tendon would be fine, but I had to see them for myself to know that her legs were fine.
To make sure Tuanzhi can use her walker in comfort, Tzu Chi volunteers thoughtfully purchased new clothes for her. As they couldn't find the right size, they decided to work some magic. Besides receiving unconditional love from Tzu Chi volunteers, the medical staff of the hospital, including the head nurse, also showed their love and support for Tuanzhi.
I am very surprised by her determination. She is very brave.
等了26年，对不对？很开心哈，扭转人生啊。
I want to thank Master Zheng Yan because she established the Tzu Chi Foundation.
Thank you, Master Zheng Yan, for building the hospital so Tuanzhi could receive treatment. This is something we never dreamt about. I will always remember the love that I have received, and I'll pass it on to others. I'm very fortunate and lucky because I have received a lot of love. They have given me strength and hope.
We go to China's Shanghai at the end of the show to care for senior residents at the Yangpu nursing home. Tzu Chi volunteers has been visiting them on a monthly basis. During the volunteers' most recent visit, many youngsters seized the chance to learn tips on how to better care for the elderly. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.